Formative and summative evaluation. So this video is being done based on the request of one of my viewer, that is Nirmala Shan, who has actually asked what is formative and summative evaluation. So what we have to understand, the main difference is formative evaluation is usually done during the period of instruction, while summative evaluation is done at the end of instruction, which means at the end of the course, what valuation we give to the students, that is called as summative evaluation. Whereas formative evaluation is during the period of instruction. Like for example, if we have a 1 year course, okay, whatever test we keep, whatever small class questions we ask the students, maybe the small class test what they do, the small written assignment what we ask them to submit, all those things comes under formative evaluation. So why we do formative evaluation is to mainly monitor their learning progress, okay, whether the students are learning, whether they have understood. Like we all have teachers who ask us questions on the very next day after the class. Why means they want to monitor whether the students are learning, whether they have understood or not. Okay, so to monitor that, so the main focus is on the process, and it provides continuous feedback not only for the teacher but also for the student, in the sense like a teacher, for example, when students are not answering in the class, say when majority of the class are not able to answer what the teacher has taught, that is an indication that a repeat class is necessary, or maybe another way of teaching is highly essential. Maybe using some audio visual aids, the teacher will try to explain again the same content, because only when there is a formative evaluation that learning can take place properly. So it is a feedback to the teacher regarding the progress of the students learning, as well as it is a feedback to the teacher because she will be able to understand her own way of instruction, whether it is becoming a success or whether it is turning into failure. But one important point is formative evaluation doesn't end up with a course grade. Just because a student has got a very high mark in the first sessional examination, that doesn't mean that she has scored grade A in the overall course, because summative evaluation is at the end of 1 year. Okay, only summative evaluation will lead to grade. Okay, formative evaluation is helping for that. So, in a nutshell, formative evaluation means it occurs during the process. Okay, and it is mainly to monitor the learning needs of the students. It gives us a feedback whether everything is right, whether everything is going correctly or not, and it doesn't end up with a course grade. On the other hand, summative evaluation is usually done at the end of the course or at the end of the instruction. The main purpose why we are doing a summative evaluation is to know whether the learning objectives are being fulfilled or not. For example, in our syllabus, if you're going to see at the end of the course, students are able to have adequate knowledge regarding, say, pathophysiology, clinical manifestations, etc., of a disease condition. Students are able to apply scientific principles when they are doing certain procedures. So, summative evaluation is focusing on that objective, whether that is achieved or not. Okay, so that is how summative evaluation is going into. It focuses on the outcome, whether the outcome is achieved or not. And definitely summative evaluation is going to assign grade for the students. It is going to assign the course grade. It is going to tell whether you have got a distinction or whether you have got the, whether you are the university topper in the first year or in second year. So that is a grade. That grade comes along with summative evaluation. What other differences? Formative evaluation, as I told you earlier, it helps to modify the course instruction. If needed, remedial work can be done, and so the teacher can upgrade her teaching learning in order so that the students are able to understand well. Summative evaluation is to judge whether the objectives are being achieved, to judge whether the instruction was effective, whether at the end of the course is the student able to demonstrate all the scientific principles when she is doing particular, say, medical, surgical, nursing procedures, whether the student is able to get a very good score in the knowledge aspect, say in the theory paper as well as in the practical paper. That is summative evaluation. Okay, so one more slide what I have to tell you is about the technique. The technique used in formative evaluation is usually it is prepared by the teacher. It is prepared by the teacher in the sense like it can be, maybe I would like to evaluate my students maybe in the form of a quiz. Maybe the next day I ask them quiz, and I make sure that they have studied or they have not studied. Maybe I can put it as a discussion. Maybe I can tell them to prepare a enact a role play. Maybe I taught them about certain topics, and then I am telling, okay, let's say for example let it be on leadership. Okay, and maybe the next day the teacher is telling that why don't this particular group enact a role play to show the various types of leadership. Okay, so that is, it is dependent on the teacher. The teacher can use, mostly it is prepared by the teacher, and it takes only very little time. Formative evaluation, a class test, a small assignment or quiz is not going to be for 3 hours. It is very less time. Coming on to summative evaluation, the type of technique how we are going to evaluate is depending on the course objective. I hope all of you are aware that now the new INC syllabus is put into practice, so it gives importance to OSCE, it gives importance to practical. It's like till the previous syllabus there was no OSCE method of assessment, but now the course objective according to Indian Nursing Council syllabuses we have to have OSCE evaluation. So OSCE has to be performed in the summative evaluation. Okay, so depending on the course objective, the technique of evaluation will be there. It can be a achievement test like theory paper, or it can be a rating scale or an observational checklist, or evaluation of a report like for example thesis or dissertation which we submit at the end. So it requires more time. It's not like formative evaluation. The time of evaluation may take quite a long time. So that's all. These are the differences. So let me put it in a nutshell. Formative evaluation is something which takes place every time, okay, during the period of instruction. Okay, the main purpose in formative evaluation is to make sure that the students are in the right track, which means whether they are able to understand what we are telling. Should I modify my course of instruction? Should I put some other important things, method of teaching, in order so that my students are able to learn better? The technique is decided by the teacher, and it will be for a very short time. Maybe it is a quiz, maybe it is a rating scale, maybe it is a role play, maybe it is a discussion, maybe it is a homework, maybe it is a written assignment. It is decided by the teacher. Coming on to summative evaluation, it is done at the end of the course. The focus is on the outcome. Okay, what are we looking? We are making sure that the instructional objectives, the course objectives, are achieved at the end. So we are evaluating, we are judging whether this particular candidate is fit, whether the candidate has adequate knowledge, has adequate skill. Everything is determined by the course objective. Even the technique of evaluation is determined by the course objective. It takes comparatively a longer time compared to a formative evaluation. So I hope and I wish that you are able to have a clear idea about the difference between formative and summative evaluation. Thank you.